Richard Gere was once the epitome of the Hollywood dream, a suave actor whose charm and good looks defined romance for a generation. With his smoldering eyes and effortless elegance, Gere was more than just an actor. He became a symbol of love and the quintessential leading man. Films like American Gigolo and Pretty Woman not only solidified his place in cinematic history, but also cemented his reputation as a heartthrob. His ability to combine vulnerability with sophistication made him a fan favorite. But his public persona only scratched the surface of the man, who was constantly grappling with deeper, more personal questions about his purpose beyond the lights of fame. While millions adored him as a Hollywood star, few understood the emotional and philosophical journey he was undertaking in his quest for something more meaningful. Early life, a quiet beginning. Before Richard Gere became a global film icon, he was a quiet boy growing up in upstate New York. Born on February 7, 1949 in Philadelphia and raised in Syracuse, Richard was the second of 5 children in a modest working-class household. His father, Homer, worked in insurance, while his mother, Doris, nurtured the family with love and discipline. Though their home wasn't filled with wealth or luxury, it was rich in values such as hard work, creativity, and a quiet curiosity that would guide Richard throughout his life. As a young boy, Richard was introverted, almost shy, but he possessed a curious mind that drew him toward both athletics and the arts. This duality, an athlete's discipline combined with an artist's expressiveness, formed the foundation of his complex personality and future career. Pursuit of the arts. In the early 1970s, Richard moved to New York City, armed with little more than ambition and a guitar. The road to stardom wasn't easy, and Gere initially worked in theater, performing in small productions. It wasn't long before his raw talent and intense presence began to shine through. His performance in Grease and London, long before John Travolta's iconic portrayal of Danny Zuko, marked the first signs of his magnetic stage presence. Gere's acting was not defined by glamour, but by authenticity. During these early years, Gere also delved into Buddhism, studying meditation and traveling to expand his spiritual understanding. His search for meaning wasn't just about fame, it was about self-discovery. This dual pursuit of inner peace and artistic expression set him apart from his peers and would later influence the kinds of roles he chose, breakthrough in film. Richard Gere's big break came in 1978 with Days of Heaven, Terrence Malick's poetic masterpiece. Cast as a drifter caught in a tragic love triangle, Gere's performance was restrained yet powerful, with every glance and gesture speaking volumes. His ability to convey deep emotion with subtlety was a stark contrast to the more theatrical performances common in Hollywood at the time. But it was in 1980's American Gigolo where Richard Gere truly became a cultural icon. Playing Julian Kay, a male escort, Gere oozed charisma and seductive charm. But unlike the stereotypical roles of the 1980s, his performance was layered with vulnerability, making the character both enigmatic and deeply human. His role in American Gigolo transformed him from a talented actor into a bona fide movie star, and his status as a leading man was cemented. The romantic hero, defining the 1980s. Throughout the 1980s, Richard Gere solidified his place as Hollywood's ultimate romantic leading man. His role in An Officer and a Gentleman, 1982, was a prime example of his ability to blend raw emotion with strength and vulnerability. As Zach Mayo, a troubled naval recruit, Gere's portrayal of a man with a broken heart resonated deeply with audiences. The famous scene of him carrying Deborah Winger's character across the factory floor remains one of the most iconic moments in cinema history. Unlike many of his contemporaries, Gere refused to be pigeonholed into one-dimensional roles. He took risks, appearing in films like Breathless, 1983, and The Cotton Club, 1984, where he played more complex, flawed characters. His versatility made him stand out, allowing him to explore deeper emotional terrains while still maintaining his charm and appeal. The Golden Era, Pretty Woman and icon status. By the 1990s, Richard Gere had reached the height of his career, and Pretty Woman, 1990, became one of his most iconic roles. Playing the wealthy businessman Edward Lewis, Gere brought depth and sincerity to a character that could have easily been a cliché. The film's enormous success not only solidified Julia Roberts as a star, but also immortalized Gere as a timeless romantic hero. Despite his increasing fame, Gere never allowed himself to be reduced to mere box office appeal. He was selective with his roles, balancing commercial success with artistic integrity. Following Pretty Woman, he explored diverse genres, appearing in thrillers like Primal Fear, 1996, and musicals such as Chicago, 2002. Through it all, Gere remained a staunch advocate for social causes, using his platform to raise awareness about Tibetan human rights, AIDS, and humanitarian work. His ability to balance fame with conviction marked him as more than just a movie star. He became a man of principle, advocacy, and integrity. Richard Gere's career was shaped not only by his iconic roles, but by the choices he made off-screen. His advocacy for Tibet and his alignment with the Dalai Lama brought him into conflict with the Chinese government. In an industry that increasingly valued global marketability, Gere's vocal support for Tibetan independence was seen by some as a risk. Studio executives whispered that he was unbankable in China, and his outspoken activism led to fewer high-profile roles in Hollywood. But for Gere, his principles were more important than career opportunities. He refused to compromise his beliefs, even at the expense of his Hollywood career. In a time when reinvention and spectacle were the norms, Gere's unwavering commitment to causes greater than himself made him stand out as a man of substance, not just fame. The Quiet Decline, a focus on independent cinema. As the 2000s unfolded, Richard Gere's presence in mainstream Hollywood movies began to wane. He no longer graced billboards or headlined blockbuster films, but his acting career was far from over. Gere turned his attention to independent cinema, focusing on roles that allowed him to explore deeper, more complex characters. Films like Arbitrage, 2012, and Norman, 2016, showcased his enduring talent, even if they didn't achieve the same commercial success as his previous work. The industry that once celebrated him seemed to have moved on, preferring younger stars in franchise-driven films. At the same time, Gere's personal life underwent significant changes. His decade-long marriage to actress Carrie Lowell ended in 2013, and the media scrutinized every aspect of the high-profile divorce. Though he remained dignified, it marked the beginning of a quieter chapter in his life, where the glare of fame began to fade. A life beyond Hollywood, family and humanitarian work. Rather than chasing relevance, Richard Gere embraced a quieter, more grounded life. He moved away from the chaos of Hollywood and focused on family, spirituality, and continued humanitarian work. In 2018, he married Spanish activist Alejandra Silva, and the couple had 2 children, providing Gere with a new sense of purpose. The media attention surrounding their age difference was fleeting, as Gere's priorities had shifted. His activism deepened as well, and he became even more involved in causes related to Tibet, environmental protection, and humanitarian efforts. While the mainstream media may have turned its focus elsewhere, Gere continued to live a life that prioritized meaningful work over fleeting fame. His efforts to make a difference behind the scenes have had a lasting impact, even if they didn't make the headlines. Legacy of integrity and authenticity. Richard Gere's legacy is defined by more than his cinematic achievements. His career may have slowed in terms of box office hits, but the choices he made throughout his life, both on and off screen, revealed his true character. Gere was never one to chase fleeting fame or superficial success. Instead, he sought to live a life of integrity, using his platform to raise awareness for causes that mattered to him. While Hollywood moved on from his leading man status, Gere's authenticity and commitment to social justice left an indelible mark. His films will always remain beloved, but his legacy will be shaped by the principles he upheld: compassion, authenticity, and a life lived with purpose. The human side of Richard Gere, a journey of transformation. Richard Gere's story is one of transformation. He didn't step away from fame out of scandal or exhaustion. He did so because he chose to prioritize what truly mattered: his family, his principles, and his personal growth. While the world saw him as a romantic leading man, Those who knew him well understood that his greatest role was not on the big screen, but in the quiet moments of his life. His decision to walk away from the limelight allowed him to focus on the things that brought him true happiness, like family and activism. Even though Hollywood no longer centered on him, Gere's journey reminds us that true greatness lies not in fame or accolades, but in the courage to live authentically and to stay true to oneself. A life fully lived. Richard Gere's enduring influence. In the end, Richard Gere's journey proves that a life well lived is measured not by awards or public recognition, but by the choices we make and the impact we have on the world. Gere's ability to stay true to himself while navigating the pressures of Hollywood is an inspiring example of resilience and authenticity. As an actor, activist, husband, and father, he embraced each role with grace and dedication. His life is a reminder that even in a world dominated by fame, the most meaningful victories are those we achieve in our personal lives and the contributions we make to the world. Richard Gere's legacy will continue to inspire generations, reminding us that living with integrity, love, and purpose is the greatest achievement of all.